The stepsister was
There's no
9.
blood there. There's no blood relation.
I
Who
know,
cares?
but she's 9 years old.
Oh,
Okay,
That's
he
why.
was 14.
We're talking about today.
Exactly. She was 9. I was 14.
So how old is she now?
Now she's 18. I'm 23.
That's legal. Word up. Get with it and then kick her dad's ass.
Is she doing okay?
You ought to be a counselor, Shaggy.
She's what?
Dr. Drew?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. She's not doing okay.
What's the matter?
Because of the fact that a couple of days ago, we had a party at my family's house,
Yeah.
and she was having a fight with one of my aunts, and I guess I got into the fight and I tried to defend my sister, and she was saying something about she hated Mexicans, and I don't know why she kept on saying that because all her family is Mexican, until finally it just came out almost 10 years later in front of my whole family in a party that I had touched her.
Oh.
And I swear I felt like the lowest scum of the earth. I felt like I swear I wanted to kill myself.
Did she start yelling it in front of everybody?
Exactly.
Oh, did she have a few drinks in her or something?
No, not at all.
She was just pissed off.
She was just, exactly. She was.
And what was she yelling?
She said, you know why I hate Mexicans? You know why I hate Mexicans? It's because he touched me when I was younger.
Is she not Mexican?
She's half Mexican, half Cuban.
Yeah.
Well, if that's the only reaction she has
Can you
to that
imagine? What a
experience.
nightmare, though. How many people were there?
A lot, at least 25, 30 people. I really felt like killing myself.
Oh,
Are you all right now?
No.
Jesus Christ, I would have had a heart attack. I'll tell you, halfway into that, you know why I hate Mexicans? You know why? I would have raised my hand and said, I'm going on a beer run.
I wish to God I would have.
Who wants some tequila?
I wish to God I would have said that.
I think you need to kick her ass.
Yeah.
No, I'd like.
Well, all right,
She and her dad versus
All right, so what happened after that?
After that, my aunts tried to hold me down. They tried to hold my hand and hold me down and
Why were they trying to hold you down?
because they were fighting.
Well, where were you going?
I was getting the hell out of there. I didn't want to be in front of them after she had told all that to my whole family.
Why did they hold you down?
Well, they tried to pull me by my arm, but I broke off and I got in my car and left.
Right.
Yeah.
And you haven't talked to anyone since?
No.
See, I know what you could do. Just call her a liar.
After that, I don't want to ever see my family again because every time they see me, they're gonna look at me like I'm the lowest scum.
All right, Gus, here's the deal.
Wow.
You were a young adolescent. Your dad was beating the crap out of you.
Stepdad.
Your stepdad was beating the crap out of you. And it is normal for that age to do strange things in response to that kind of abuse.
Especially
No.
stepsister.
And you didn't overtly sexually abuse her. You crossed over some boundaries.
It wasn't. No, exactly. It
Yeah.
was not overt.
So how do you know, Drew?
Because the way he's described it. And it's not, that sort of an experience does not have to be devastating to her. It's certainly going to create some feelings, but she can go into her life and have a normal experience in her relationships.
No, I'm
She
sorry,
can.
Dr. Drew.
Yeah.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
Now, I'm trying to see if this is where this came from because I know I'm not a bad person.
Right.
No, you're not.
I want to see if this is where this came from.
Right.
One of my uncles from my stepdad's side came to visit from Cuba,
Uh-oh.
and he got a hold of me.
Well, what did he do?
How old were you?
I was at the time 9 years old.
Oh, yeah.
I was 9 years old.
Well, that's the deal.
And what happened was that he would take me up to he lives on top of the garage, and he would take me on top of the garage and he would touch me down there, and I couldn't tell you, and he would make me touch him, and he would.
Yeah, okay. This is horrible because not only does Gus have this sort of pain and humiliation of having to deal with the Cuban Uncle Fidel who flew in for a little molestation over one summer, but then he has the double side of it. So he gets to be a victim. No one ever feels sorry, but no one ever feels sorry for him because he victimized someone else.
Right.
Gus, it really isn't your fault. I mean, what was done to you, what you grew up with, it would have taken a pretty strong guy not to act out in some way. So don't freak yourself out.
No, I mean,
listen, I know you're freaking out, but don't freak yourself out.
Well, if he has any sexual compulsions, that sort of thing, you can get. Do you have any other sexual compulsions that persist?
Me?
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess I don't think so. I mean, I came to terms with myself that I've gone through a lot. I mean, this uncle that came from Cuba, I saw he tried to beat up my dad.
Well,
and I actually saw him how he shot him.
What the hell's going on?
He what?
When are we going to bomb Cuba? Already, for Christ's sake,
Because
you know?
the deal is you have to find a way to deal with all this shame. The shame
All
is
right,
what's...
I know what he's got to do. You, Gus,
Yeah.
you got to write a letter to your sister. And the letter has to explain what happened to you and how sorry you are. Okay? Yes. Well, and that's what you got to do.
Or you could just
tell
get
her.
really drunk and deny everything.
Just tell her how sorry
No,
you are.
that's
Leave
not-
it at that.
Tell who?
We were talking about this a lot last time, remember?
We were?
Last time you
I
guys
thought we
yeah.
talked
These guys were
all
talking
about Violent J's Pond.
He's wrong. Shaggy's wrong because that keeps built up feelings.
Yeah.
All I gotta say about Gus is, if I had a stepsister and she looked good, you know, I'd bang her box out.
Yeah, but 9 years 9 years
No,
old.
not at 9 years old.
Right, which is
I
like
mean,
11.
if I was like 11 and she was 9, maybe.
Sure. Well,
but I
that's-
mean,
that's
not
natural.
if I had a stepsister. That's all I'm saying. So the root of the problem, what Gus is, what Gus is guilty of,
Right.
isn't really that bad. I mean, a stepsister. So your parents hooked up. That doesn't mean you guys can't hook up.
Yeah, right. It's not like it was a
Yeah, but
stepbrother.
it's really the 9. It's the age 9 thing that I think we're
But
stuck
he was
on
only
here.
11, right?
He was
14.
14.
Oh, Gus, you bastard.
Which is substantial. But he had Uncle Fidel screwing with him, and it's stepdad who's really the sort of cause of everything here. Can't
Gus-
we bomb Cuba?
Gus, you're not that bad for what you did, but if she looks good, go ahead and try to step to her now. Next time you see Uncle Fidel, slap his beard off.
Yeah,
All
right. That makes
Next
everything
call.
right now.
We'll take a little break. The Insane Clown Posse is here, dealing out, I should say, their own brand of Insane Clown Posse. Psycho babble. Therapy, I should say. Sorry. We're going to take a little break, and more of that, more of you, more of everything after this.
Ladies and gentlemen, Oscar de la Hoya.
Is Loveline a special presentation on 92.3 K-Rock?
Hey, it's Loveline. Drew,
Yeah.
say hi for a second. I just got to have a swig of water here. I'm parched.
Why don't we go to the phones? How about that? Violent J and Shaggy here from the
Insane Clown Posse.
Yes, it's
We'll
true.
hear something off the... well, actually, we'll hear the single. Do we have the new CD?
I don't know if you have
Yeah.
the new CD, but that's the new radio-friendly, ultra-friendly family music single.
Right. And
F the world.
if anyone could see the cover of this, they'd realize it's just how cuddly it was.
That single's not in stores, though. There's a single in stores called Mad Professor, and it features a bunch of samples from the album. The album comes out May 25th, and it features tracks with Old Dirty Bastard, Snoop Dogg, Twisted, and the Jerky Boys. Right, Shags?
That's right.
Well, what is the name of the CD then?
It's the Amazing Jekyll Brothers.
Oh, okay. Yeah, all right. I got that. I'm hip to that. Okay. Now we're good.
That's just a radio single because
Right.
everybody wanted to know if Insane Clown Posse, in fact, now that we're platinum and we're super famous, we're very super famous.
Absolutely.
Everybody wanted to know if we were going to become a radio band and get with the program, and we said, of course. There's the new radio single, F the World.
Must be interesting when you wear a mask and then you get recognized walking around down the street.
You mean in the mask?
Yeah, where they
That's
wear a
why
mask.
you get recognized, because we got the
if
mask.
somebody got a mask on, well, why the hell's he got a mask on for, I mean, it's just some lunatic walking down the street in a mask. He probably like, hey, who are you,
But I'll tell you a hint of if anybody ever wants to see what we look like without makeup, check the internet for mugshots. Maybe we could delete that off, too. I wasn't supposed to bring up the mugshot thing.
That's
Kyle?
You got a delay button and
How's it going?
Yeah, but we're not using it. Kyle,
Yeah, how you doing?
you're 14.
Yeah, I had a question for Dr. Drew.
Yep,
Are you familiar with Tourette syndrome?
yeah,
You are?
yeah.
All right, I had a question. I've been taking I don't know if you're familiar with the medicine ORAP.
ORAP. Can you tell me? I've heard. Yes, I know what that is. Okay,
All right, well, I've been taking that for about 3 years now,
right.
And my mom has just recently looked up on the internet that if you've been taking that for more than 6 months, that you shouldn't take it for more than 6 months. And so my mom now is trying to get me off of it, so she's reducing.
I don't know that that's true, that you should only be on it 6 months.
Well, wouldn't the doctor or whoever was prescribing you the medication sort of fill you in?
Well, yeah, the guy that does that for us, he's not really informative, but
let me ask you about Tourette's for a second.
And by the way, don't believe everything you see on the internet, for crying out loud. It is a totally unsafe environment, the internet. You never know what you're reading, who wrote it.
Especially the mugshot thing.
Of the Insane Clown Posse. Kyle?
Yeah,
everyone this is sort of the comedian's disease, because everyone makes fun of it because they figure they just sit around and say the F word.
Yeah, my friend was watching news radio the other day. He's like, I heard about your Tourette syndrome on the TV.
Yeah, it's like they just figure everyone just sits around and uses the F word and the S word all day. But really, it's a little different than that, right?
It is. It's like, if I said that all day, it'd be a lot easier than what I have to do.
Yeah, you get tremors and things like that, right?
Twitches.
They're called tics. And like right now, since I'm taking less and less doses of my medicine,
right?
They said that I'm going through withdrawals and stuff from it.
Yeah.
And so it's like 10 times worse.
Well, what about the language? Do you say things that are offensive?
No, not at all.
It's just all the tics. Is this a special strain of Tourette's where there's a sort of verbal side to it?
I mean,
that's just the version that is most suited to the press.
Yeah. I mean, most
of them is sounds you make in the throat.
Right.
And,
I mean, some people bark or some people just say weird things.
And twitches.
Some people bark?
Yeah, it's crazy, man. I've seen it on TV.
What's the name of that medication?
It's mine called ORAP.
But this part of it's in the spectrum of obsessive compulsive disorders, so things that they use to treat obsessive compulsive.
And my mom,
right.
I don't know, I think it's called Taxin or Texan, the new medicine that I'm taking.
Tell me what the new one is.
Let me go check.
I thought you said Paxil.
No, it's right here. It's called Tenex.
Tenex. These are these alpha-2 agents. They use clonidine and Tenex. These are much milder versions of this disorder. I mean, if you're really troubled by tics and stuff, do not simply go on what you do on the internet. For crying out loud, here's something I realized. I'm 15 years of experience under my belt. I would never dream of just determining for myself what I had, or how to treat what I had.
Right.
How do lay people go on the internet and decide what they have, and then decide what to do about it? It is the old aphorism: is the physician who tries to treat himself has a fool for a doctor. You cannot be objective about your own situation.
The contractor has the worst house on the block.
You can lead a host to water, but you can't make them drink.
A new broom sweeps clean. All right. You guys ready to move forward?
I have a question of my own, actually.
Yeah.
If I could kind of cheat the callers out and ask one.
Sure.
Yeah.
See, I had this little episode when we were on tour. We were on stage in St. Paul, Minnesota, and I had like a severe panic attack thing. You know what I mean?
Did you eat at Mickey's while you were there?
Yes, we did. Shaggy had the clam chowder. Okay. Anyway, I had a severe panic attack and I went crazy.
Yeah.
And I cut all my hair off because it was the third time that it happened when I was on the road and I really wanted to go home.
Right.
And my tour manager, my brother, wouldn't let us go home. So I figured at the time I was having a panic attack. I figured if I cut my hair off, he would let me go home. I didn't know what a panic attack was at the time.
Right.
I went home and I went into an eternal state of panic attacks.
Yeah, they're awful.
You know what I mean? Like all day and all night.
They're awful.
And I couldn't get into, I didn't know what it was at all.
Yeah.
I couldn't get into an asylum place.
Yeah.
But I wanted to because I didn't have insurance at the time and all the business stuff, you know. But finally, I went in and I spent 2 days and 2 nights in a resort, if you will.
Right. With no windows.
Yeah.
A retreat.
Right.
A retreat for stars.
Yeah, what is the panic attack, Drew? How does that work?
Well, they are uncontrolled states of anxiety where people often believe they're dying, or they're going to have a heart attack, or that they're going crazy. And it's just a sense of overwhelming doom and destruction. It's just an awful feeling.
What brings it on?
It's a behavior. It's a biological event. Some people get on, some people don't. Lots of things can bring them on. They can be pure panic disorder, which is usually a long-standing pattern of this. It can be associated with depression. It can be associated with some overwhelming sort of conflict.
Oral